Man, I hated studying English. I wish there was a way I could share all this knowledge of studying English literature with other people. Oh hey guys, I didn't see you there. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to look at a two-step approach for studying literature, whether it's English literature, French literature, German literature, whatever you want. The first step is going to be unlearn those practices which are holding you back. And the second step is going to be unleash, meaning unleashing the deadliest, crazy effective revision that you want. So let's get started. As always, timestamps are in the description below if you want to jump ahead or behind. But please do watch the entire video, man. But I already know what you're thinking. Gee, what kind of noob studies for English? English is a piece of cake. Why would anyone study for English? Why are you wasting everyone's time? Well, as a matter of fact, if you want to get good grades in English, you do actually have to study for it. And just because it doesn't seem as hardcore as math or physics or economics, doesn't mean that you can avoid studying it. So let's move on to step number 1, which is unlearning those toxic practices which are holding you back in English. Because remember, English is also going to give you a grade. It's also one of your subjects. So the first strategy which everyone falls for at one point, mainly because it is emphasized by teachers worldwide, and that is annotating the text. Well, annotating the text works very well in the beginning when you're trying to gain an understanding of what the text actually says. But later on, as a revision strategy, it doesn't do anything. So let go of the annotation. Admit it, you have never really come back to that annotation you made on page 50 of a 200-page book, because that would mean that you have to find that annotation, read it, and then it doesn't do anything for you. Another technique that is really holding you back whenever you're studying literature, that is rereading the book. Because this contradicts everything we know about effective studying, which is, as I keep coming back to it, active recall and spaced repetition. Think about it. All the research has proven that rereading is a useless method for actually gaining marks. Yet we do that in English literature all the time. Somehow, I don't know why. I would like to suggest something even more radical. And that is something I did and one of my seniors did. And that is, don't even read the book. Yes, you heard that right. Because think about it. In English literature, you're not being tested on whether you know how to read a book. You're being tested on whether you know how to analyze that book, whether you can show a good understanding of that book. In fact, some books are really difficult to even understand what they're about just by reading them. Another thing is, all this rereading doesn't add to any of your analysis. What you really need to study and revise is the analysis of the text and how to use those quotes, those key quotes. Not every single word is important. So believe me, don't reread the book, or in the first place, don't even read the book. I remember back in school, there was this one book which was written in third person in a stream of consciousness. And it was nearly impossible while reading the book to identify who was saying what, because the thoughts and the quotes and the inner feelings of the character were all the same. And all my friends kept complaining about this. But I never said anything. Because you see, I didn't read the book, yet I still understood what it was about. If I had actually read the book, then I would have been even more confused. What I suggest is, you use the note-taking system, which I outlined in one of my previous videos. I'll make it appear somewhere over here. I don't know how these cards work in YouTube. The point is, you gotta keep coming back to the basic two principles: active recall, spaced repetition. So everything that's not related to that, you have to throw it out. And everything that is related to it has to be brought back in. Now some really English specific tips are that you should try and form a team. Now I actually picked up this tip from a physics graduate, or actually an undergraduate, graduate and PhD from MIT, also known as MIT cubed or M cubed. The thing to remember is, when you're studying literature, it's all about perspectives. It's all about unique analysis that everyone brings to the table, which is why you should try and get a group of like-minded people. I know it's hard because I tried and I failed to do it back in high school. But the best thing would be to get a group of people and make everyone analyze, and then you pool together that analysis so everyone benefits not just from their own analysis but from the analysis of 3 other people or 4 other people or 5 other people. Now an important thing to remember is when you're making that team, go ahead and make yourself king of it, because you got to remember the bystander effect. People don't really want to take the lead. They think that someone else is going to do it. No one really takes that initiative because everyone's waiting for the other guy to do it. So you have to take it upon yourself to make sure the study group is actually useful. Now speaking about perspectives, the unique perspectives and the analysis which the examiners are really looking for in your literature exams, I highly recommend buying these study guides. Or you could just look up the analysis online. What I don't recommend is going on Shmoop, because Shmoop may seem more fun than SparkNotes, but the quality of its analysis is not that great. If you're really looking for quality analysis, then look at SparkNotes, or actually buy a physical copy of some study guide to a book. If you're studying some famous work of literature, which is 99% of the case, like Macbeth or Shakespeare or some other thing, maybe Arthur Miller, then guaranteed there is a study guide that already exists for it, if not 5. This stuff will make your life infinitely easier when it comes to studying. And after all, that's what it's about when you're a student, getting those marks or actually learning it. And why not make it slightly easier for yourself, especially if your parents are bankrolling you? Then it's far easier to buy those textbooks. For study guides, there's this one particular English brand which I highly recommend, and I'll link it down in the description below. Those are really good study guides which are funny, and at the same they've got some really insightful analysis. They look like this. Final tip for really scoring in literature and studying effectively is, at the end of the day, you've still got to hammer out a few essays, maybe 4 or 5 before that exam comes around. Why? Because you're forgetting the final link, the missing link in your mental workout, that is literature, and that is the skill and the art of essay writing. You need to get some practice writing out those essays, because that's how your thoughts are conveyed to the examiner in the best way possible. And remember that there's no real difference between language and meaning. They both are really intertwined with each other. So if you can write it in an amazing way and your analysis is not as good as the other guys, if you write so well that the examiner loves it, then you're going to score higher, even though your analysis and your understanding may have been slightly lower. So that's just something to think about. It's like a halo effect that surrounds the work. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this, then you'd love my email newsletter. Be sure to check it out in the description below. And remember to smash that like button. Whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll catch you later.